So, welcome to the show, guys. Hey there, business owners, directors, and marketeers. In today's show, I'm meeting Gaurav Sharma from SaaS Labs, which has built out JustCall.io, and we're going to speak all about that. I'm Lucas, your host as always, and I want to tell you a little bit about Gaurav before we are starting. So he's the founder and CEO of SaaS Labs, which is a bootstrapped, profitable product company. So they're building different products. One of the most successful one being JustCall.io that we speak about a lot today. It's a cloud-based phone system for sales, support, and remote teams. Gaurav himself is a product guy and a techie, so who loves to be working on disruptive ideas and is passionate about building new products, as he's been proving with SaaS Labs. So Gaurav, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Very
it's great
cool.
To be here.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, maybe briefly about SaaS Labs and then JustCall. So what's the setup there and what is it all about?
Sure. So as you mentioned that I'm a techie guy and I love to write code and build products. So that's what SaaS Labs is. So what we do is we basically come up with different business ideas targeting B2B, SMBs, mid-market sort of folks, different problems, and we try to solve that through code. The kind of themes that we work on is basically cloud, remote, and automation. So if a product idea is solving any of these three, we try to figure it out and build something on top of it. And yeah, JustCall is one of our popular and most sort of revenue generating products, but we have a lot of other products always in the making. We have internal program where we spend $20,000, sort of invest in $20,000 in a new idea, give them 3 or 4 people to work on it. So that's how the model works.
Very good. And JustCall being the strongest product at the moment, is that
correct? So any product that picks up gets its own sort of team and funding from ourselves, obviously internal funding. So JustCall is one of our most popular products. It has about 30 people working on it now.
Cool. So maybe tell me in a sentence, what problem does it solve, or how does it help the people who are using it?
Sure. So JustCall JustCall is a cloud phone system that works with your CRM, and it's good fit for sales, support, and remote teams. So instead of having a hardware to set up your contact center or having a sales dialer, you can just do everything on the cloud, and it gives you phone numbers in almost 70 countries around the world. So with a click of a button, you can get a lot of numbers. You can easily scale your sales support calls. You can easily distribute incoming calls, and everything gets logged in your CRM. So that's where the value comes in, right? I mean, you save 2 minutes every call that your agent is making. So you save almost about 375 hours an hour per agent per year. That's the value proposition. That's what you are paying JustCall for.
Makes a lot of sense. So who are the people and who are the teams that would benefit most from the services? Like what type of companies are using JustCall?
Sure. So, I mean, what we have found is that any company which is using a CRM, any company which has about 5 or more people handling calls or SMS, they'll be a great fit for it. So kind of industries we can talk about. Firstly, any cab company. So we work with all the top 3 cab companies in the world. Then there's banking, finance companies. They have to make a lot of calls. They have to sell insurance and all that. So that's there. Then a lot of services companies, right? You have to get a plumber in or something like that. So that's a good fit there. So a lot of companies where calling is the main medium of communication. I mean, that's a good fit for us.
And that's a call.
Yeah. They must be using a CRM. That's a very much sort of requirement for us because that's how we can prove our value.
Very good. And that's across all types of sizes. You mentioned it from small to large businesses.
Yeah. Yep.
Very interesting. Very cool. So I'm curious then, how would a typical client of yours find JustCall.io and become a customer? How would you describe the customer journey of somebody, becoming a client?
Sure. So for us, what has really worked is our integration with all the CRMs. So we are really good partners with HubSpot, Pipedrive, and Intercom, and all those folks like Zoho, Freshdesk. So we have really good partners with them, and people actually, so their customer actually find us through either the marketplace or their sales and support people tell them that, hey, if you want to track your calls, you can try JustCall. So it's a very good thing for us that we haven't spent any money on ads for the last 2.5 years. We just started putting money in the ads, but 2.5 years, it was all either through this channel or through Google search, like the SEO part.
Very good. What did you learn when building up those relationships with those CRM teams? Because maybe other companies strive together to build up that collaborations. What was your experience and what was most helpful to build up those?
Sure. I mean, to initiate any relationship, you have to give first and then sort of ask for other things, right? So what we used to do was, we build the integration. We give them a dedicated page for that. We do a lot of noise creation around the integration that, hey, we are on HubSpot, blah, blah, blah. So when we do things like that, the people on the other side, they sort of appreciate that. and then they start listening to you. So that was the kind of hack that we use for almost all our 25 odd integration that we have today.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And if you would zoom back, maybe when you started off JustCall, I know you probably had also other products running at the same time, but could you tell me, like, how did you get to your first 10 customers? You know, people who are starting off are, can you remember even? I know you're on a much more right now.
No, we try to keep remembering the old days so that we are always grounded. So second December 2016, we launched our product on Product Hunt. So that's where we get the initial traction. Obviously, we didn't get much sort of customers, but I think we got like 3-4 customers from there. And then we started doing I myself started doing a lot of cold emailing to people. I used to just find out like manager, sales, manager, support. I used to shoot them an email that, hey, we are building this thing. It works with Pipedrive. So would you like to give it a shot? So that's a lot of mailing that was done by me or our engineers. So we were like 4 people working on it initially, like 3 engineers and myself. So yeah, cool. So we did a lot of emailing.
And how did you do the bridge then to, let's say, the next 100 to 250 clients? Because there must have been then, changing a little bit the approach at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had to obviously scale that up. So what we did was, so we figured out that, okay, so we integrated only with Pipedrive that time. Mm-hmm. And we started getting a lot of new leads from there. Then we figured out, okay, this is a good channel. So we started building a lot of integrations then. And we started using that playbook of ours, like create a landing page, make some noise, speak good things about the integration, and just start getting listed there. So we quickly increase the integrations. We start getting listed on things. That also helped us our SEO as well. Mm-hmm. So it'll be like HubSpot phone system or HubSpot SMS. Then we'll be like on the top. So yeah, that sort of picked up for us.
Very, very cool. You're being very creative there, using and building out those channels. I'm curious. Yeah. You mentioned those specific websites for the integrations and probably people in general. I'm curious about the role of your website from JustCall.io for the business. Does it play a key role in converting clients? Is it more side product? What role does the website play?
No, absolutely. Website is the first sort of interaction with the customer and prospective customer, right? So if the landing page is done well, that's the requirement. I mean, if you're not doing that right, you're not going to get the conversion. And for us, how it works is like people come to our site, they like the content or whatever it is, and then we provoke them to book a demo with us, and almost 50 to 60% demos convert into sales. So it's very important for us to have that copy, that page right. Yeah.
Very cool. Really puts to proof the quality of your product that after the demo, 50% go through. Very good. Well done there.
Yep.
Very cool. So what types of metrics do you actually care about on the website? Because, you could be looking at a ton of different things, but what do you try to keep your focus on?
I think we have our own funnels there. So it's obviously the conversion rate. So we actually focus more on the booking rate, like how many people jumping on this thing, and then obviously time spent on the site. Mm-hmm. We used to track bounce a lot, but when you're driving traffic to a lot of places, I mean, bounce can be a wrong metric in that sense. So yeah, there are a couple of metrics that we think about, which actually convert into revenue for us. Mm-hmm. So obviously demo signups, these are some of the metrics that we track.
Very cool. And any challenges that you can recall maybe throughout the last couple of months or maybe even years that you maybe overcame with conversion rate? Any war stories to share on how to improve conversions from the page?
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. So firstly, we worked a lot on decreasing our bounce rate when it was super high. Mm-hmm. Then we were not using any chat system or anything like that. So we started using a chat product, Intercom. We started using, mm-hmm. and we started making those bots really well so that we can understand where people are coming from, so that we can pop up the right message there itself. So mm-hmm. that helped us grab a lot of leads from there, because I think we were losing so many leads that time. Mm-hmm. So that's I think one of the tips I would like to give all those people who are starting up today, that get something to grab those leads, because people are going to jump away.
Very good. Do you have a ballpark of an uplift idea? Because we've been talking, it was very interesting. We've been talking with different folks about integrating a chat system, chatbots. Like we've seen uplifts of around, people talking about like 10% uplift, something like that. Was it very different from you guys, or something around that ballpark?
Yeah, because it was very early time, so I can't give you a huge number like 1,000%, because it's like 4 to 10 leads. Like, I mean, it's a huge jump. Gotcha. But it was big. It was big. Yeah.
Very, Very, very cool. That makes a lot of sense. Any more challenges that you can recall? So you're bringing in the chat. Anything else that you remember that sort of improved how you were getting more leads from the website for the demos?
I think the email copies, whenever someone schedules your demo, like what sort of email they are getting. I mean, that also sort of confirm. That also sort of decides like how the demo is going to go. So we worked a lot on the copy of the email that goes to the folks who are getting the demo, and also the kind of message they get after they schedule the demo. So that's also very important because demos are eventually converting into business for us. So we focused a lot on the demos and that part.
And then the emails after. What did you learn? Like, what is important for an email that goes out after a demo?
Sure. So I mean, I'll just share you a good hack here. So what we do is we don't send emails immediately. We send emails after about 18 minutes of scheduling demo, so that it looks like a real person sending you the email. So that was one hack that we figured out, that we should not send emails immediately. They should look more personal. So that was one hack. So after every 18th, so once you book a demo with us, after 18 minutes, you'll get an email from us like, hey, thanks for doing a demo with us. Then we ask them 3 very important requirements from them, like what's your team size, what CRM you use, and what's your use case. Is it like sales or is it support? So that we can design our demo accordingly. So that really helped us in improving our demo rate, demo quality, and also help in people showing up to the demo for the demo was also sort of improved in that sense. People used to reply us back like, hey, thanks for reaching out to me. It was obviously an automated email, but it looked more like a personal email.
Yeah, very interesting. Thanks a lot for sharing this. That probably helps a lot of folks thinking around that. Very, very cool. I would like to switch gears a little bit and learn about you as a business owner, techie, and building up those businesses. Maybe if you could tell me, like throughout the years, what has been most helpful for you to be able to pull off, SaaS Labs as well as building JustCall on the side? Like, what is something that you feel has been most helpful to you?
I think the first answer should always be the team. Right. I mean, we are really lucky that we got people who sort of stuck around when we were not doing really well. So we're a bootstrap company. We had nothing to start with when we started. So it was really a challenging time that time. So people are still there who actually built JustCall. So people are still with us 3.5 years now. So that's one thing. Second is obviously you have to be there in the game, because as Jason Lemkin says that you have to be there. Wait it out, and you have to like work hard to get through this thing. So we had to wait it. So it was like patience is very important, I guess. And obviously all the optimizations we did, all the product improvements we did. Yeah, one thing is very important: customer feedback. So every one of us are like very close to our customers. So as a CEO, I also review all the sort of important chat that's happening. Most of our engineers are always in touch with engineers, so every one of them has Intercom account, not just the support teams or sales teams. So that's very important for us, and that has helped us a lot in improving our product, because we were not really expert of this industry like cloud telephony, but now we are. But that time we were not. We just figured out a problem that we can solve, right? So that sort of helped us. Yeah.
Very good, very good. Sorry, very interesting. 2 more questions there, actually, before we're already coming close to an end of this interview here. I'm curious, you as a CEO of this company or founder of this company, what's your vision? Like, where do you want to bring this model of, being a product company, being be a product company, and then building out products as well? Where do you try to bring the ship, basically?
See, so my last 2, so I've been building business for almost nine years now. So my last business was sold for like double-digit millions. So previous was like $1 million sort of exit. So this one, so we are very much bullish on the kind of things we are building here. So as I mentioned, the 3 themes: cloud, automation, and remote. We are very bullish on that. So so our big goal is actually to go public to 2025 around. So that's the big goal we are playing here. So that's what we're doing. And we're also in talks with a lot of investors. Probably next year to next year, we'll be raising some good big round.
Okay, very cool. Very interesting. So wish you good luck there on that journey. Last thing to sort of wrap up the interview today would be, if you could go back into the first days when you're starting off SAS Labs, when you're building out the first products, or maybe even when you're starting off JustCall, what would be one advice that you would give yourself?
I think the advice would be to start working on branding and marketing from day one, or probably before that. because we never spent any money on marketing or branding. Had we spent that money, probably we would have been in a better place.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Thanks
Yeah.
a lot, Gaurav, for being part of the interview today. Really, really interesting to learn from your very specific ways, how you were growing through CRM integrations. Super interesting. So I really appreciate you taking time off your busy day today. So thanks for being on the show.
Pleasure. Thanks a lot.